This lesson about Unit 3, the universe and solar system. Do you think what is meant by the universe? Directly we say, in the beginning, the observation suggests that the expansion of the universe will continue forever. If so, the universe will cool as it expands, eventually becoming too cold to sustain life. For this reason, the future sensor is probably called the Big Freeze. Dark energy represented by cosmological constant, a constant energy density filling space homogeneously, or a scalar field such as quantities. This not only, or module, or dynamic quantities, all of them whose energy density can vary in time and space acceleration. The expansion of the universe stay and stay and stay. The space between cluster galaxies will grow. This growth at an increasing rate. This has happened by a lot of scientists. They think that redshift will stretch ancient incoming photons. This photon, even gamma rays. To understanding what happened, we use also long wavelengths and low energies. Stars are expected to form normally for 10 power 12 to 10 power 14. This it means 1 power negative trillion years. Do you know what this means? Yes, it's a way. But eventually, the supply of the gas need for star formation will be exhausted. And as extant stars run out of fuel and gas to shine, the universe will slowly. This it means grow and grow and grow. One star at a time according to the theories that predict proton decay. The stellar remains left behind will disappear, leaving behind only black holes, which themselves eventually disappear as they emit. Do you think emit what? Yes, emit Hawking radiation. Ultimately, if the universe research stay and its state in which the temperature approaches a uniform value, no future work will be possible, resulting in the final heat death of the universe. In 1970, it means 19th century in the future, of an expanding universe was studied by a lot of scientists depending on astrophysicists. So, have divided the past and the future history of an expanding the universe into 5 years. The first, this is back the first, the primordial era is the time in the past just after the Big Bang, when stars had not yet formed. The second, the Stelliferous era, include the present day and all of the stars. Galaxies also we can see there. It's a time during which stars form from what? Collapsing clouds. When the clouds are collapsed, the gases are collapsed, all of them, they form galaxies. In the subsequent decreased era, the star will have a burnout, leaving all stellar masses object of the stellar remains, white dwarf neutron stars, and the black holes. In the black holes era, white dwarf neutron star and the other smaller astronomical objects have been destroyed. Oh, let's find what is beyond. We have a lot of the years to know how can this earth is formed. Well, let's see. For the other one, this is about the universe. Definition now. It's a space which contain all galaxies. Let's see. Galaxies. Sure, it's a galaxy. What about the galaxies? Galaxies is the massive, greatest, is the biggest unit of the universe. It's a very, very big and huge. What about to see some beautiful galaxies from the Hubble telescope? These galaxies, it's beautiful and it's greater. In Arab 273, we can see the massive gravitational bound system consisting of the stars, stellar remains, and interstellar medium of the gases and dust, and the dark matter, an important but poorly understood component. Galaxy contain very fine number of stars, maybe more, maybe less, but we sure it have millions of stars. Till now, we can get a photo about 100,000 about this. Stars last and the type of interstellar cloud. A common form in the elliptical galaxy which has an ellipse-shaped light profile. We have also spiral galaxy, but it's beautiful to see these galaxies by telescope. They are disc-shaped with a dusty curving arms. The irregular galaxies and the typical ordinate. This is not only about the galaxies. We have also great effect. It contains different number of star systems. These star systems, maybe it has stars, clouds, planets, moons. We don't know because it's far. Galaxies have been historically categorized according to their period shape, usually referred to as their visual morphology. A common form is elliptical galaxy. We said it has different shapes. There are probably more than 170 billion. Do you know what this number means? It means 1.7 by 10 power 11 galaxies. Oh my God. And the observable universe, most are 1,200,000 bara-sensors in diameter and usually separated by the distance on the order of the millions of bara-sensors or megaparsecond. Intergalactic space, the space between galaxies is filled with tenuous gases of an average density less than 1 atom per cubic meter. The measure of the galaxies are organized into two accessories is known the group of the cluster. It means different galaxies which contain different shape. I know, my dear student, you know, look at this wonderful one. This is the example of the galaxy. On the sample 2012, astronomers working with the Hubble telescope reporting that the most distant known galaxy is now estimated to be even farther away than the previous beliefs. The galaxy, which estimated to have formed around 380 million years after the Big Bang. This means 13 billions. Yes, it's a big number. Do you know what? It's years. 13.8 billion years ago. And have a Z redshift of 11.9 is approximately 13.42 billion light year from the Earth. It's great. Now, in the 10th century, a lot of astronomers tried to make the earliest record observation of the Andromeda galaxy, describe it as a small cloud. All Safi, who published his finding in his book Fixed Star. You must know this is in 964. Also, there is a lot of scientists talk about that. You must know the galaxies is the devil and big and very, very big from one to another. All time when they discover different galaxy, its shape is changed. What entity and what space and what universe and what a galaxy? Oh my God, please help me to know what is behind in this deep universe. Let's fly now. Do you know for what? Yes, sure, shapes of galaxy. There are many shapes of the galaxy, as we said before, as a spiral galaxy. This spiral galaxy, as you see, it's Milky Way. The Milky Way galaxy, it's our galaxy. It's a bright band at night in the sky. This Milky Way consists of distant stars. Aristotle in the 384 to 322 BC, however, believed that the Milky Way to be caused by the ignition of the fiery exhalation of some stars that were large, numerous, and close together, and that the ignition takes place in the upper part of atmosphere. A lot of planets around us, a lot of planets in our solar system. Let's get example from the nebula theory, and we'll study it after that. This tells us what happened. The gravity increased in the universe. It's sponged slower. Now the galaxy move and move and move. The Milky Way, yes, it's our galaxy. The idea would be implanted later in the Islamic world. The first attempt of observation and measuring the Milky Way parallax, and he thus determined that because the Milky Way didn't belong to the atmosphere. This is for the past. Milky Way galaxy help for the collection of countless fragments of the natural and different numbers. Milky Way galaxy actually proved and consists of many stars. This can be discovered by Galileo in 1610. Milky Way. What about this Milky Way? It has a planet Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. This red planet. This is what? This is the Earth. The first note, the Sun and the Earth are a tiny part in the universe. Not only the number of galaxies. Do you remember what from this movie? About 100,000 million. It's great. Now, let's discover our solar system. Solar system is very important. Comprises the Sun and the planetary system of the 8 planets, their moons, and non-stellar objects, informed about 4.6 billion years ago from the gravitational collapse of the agent molecule cloud. The vast majority of the system's mass, most of the remaining masses containing Jupiter, the 4 smaller inner planets, this it means the 4 outer planets called the gas giant, are substantially more massive than terrestrial. That too, the largest, Jupiter, Saturn. Also, we have the biggest body of the universe. Do you know what this? Sure, we know. It's the Sun. The Sun is the huge one of the universe. Also, we have the huge planet. These planets, it means outer planets. This contains gases of hydrogen and helium from its component. The Sun also contain or made of the hydrogen and the helium and contain a lot of gases because it's very hot. Now, compared with the hydrogen and the helium for the planet and the Sun, we can find, yes, let's see that. All planets have the almost circular orbit that lie within nearly flat disk called the elliptical plane. Around what? Sure, around the Sun. The solar system also contains numbers of the regions populated by smaller objects. Asteroids belt, this lies between Jupiter and Mars. This region it's dangerous because it contains a lot of rocks. Also, this is similar to terrestrial planets as it mostly contains objects composed of rocks and metals beyond Neptune's. This Neptune's orbit is very dangerous. Also, the Kuiper belt and the scattered disk linked population transport Neptune object composed mostly of the ice because the fastest one. Within these populations are several dozen to more than 10,000 objects that may, and its shape, and ask, this is inner or outer planet, made of rocks or made of the gases? That's what we need to know. Dust freely travel between regions. 6 of the planet, at least 3 of the dwarf planets, and many of the smaller bodies are orbited by the natural satellite, usually termed moons after the Earth's moon. Each of the outer planets is encircled by planetary rings. This is we will see for the next, and contain also dust and the other small object. The solar wind, a flow of plasma from the sun. This is helpful creates a bubble in interstellar medium known as heliosphere, which extends out of the edge scattered disk. This heliosphere, this heliosphere is scattered disk. The Oort cloud, which is believed to be in the source for long period comet, may also exist in the distance roughly 1,000 times farther than the heliosphere. The heliosphere pole is the point at which the pressure from the solar wind is equal to opposing the pressure interstellar wind. The solar system is located within one of the outer arms of the Milky Way galaxy. Be sure that from the last movie, we noticed all of the solar system, the Earth, different planets found in just in one arm of the galaxy of Milky Way, which contain about 200 billions of the stars. Do you know? Yes, it's huge for many thousand years. Human, with a few notable exceptions, didn't recognize the extent of the solar system. People believed that the Earth to be stationary at the center of the universe. Sure, this is not true, and the category different from divine or ethereal object that moved through the sky. Also, the Greek philosopher Aristotle and the other had speculated on the heliocentric recording of the cosmos. This is called nucleus, was the first developed mathematically. My dear, Galileo is an important one and see the space by its telescope. This is only, no, some physical laws help us to discover what is inside the Earth, what around. Measuring unit of the distance of the universe. Do you know what this unit? Yes, my dear, light year. Light year, it means the distance covered by light in 1 year. It's the most often used when expressing the distance between stars and the other galaxies, because the universe is wide and deep and we can't measure by the normal method. We need light year, which equal 9.467 by 10 power 12 kilometer. What about to travel to crossing star? Crossing star is the other theory. This is occurred by Chamberlain and Moulton. Both are two scientists explain what happened for crossing star. Let's fly. This is happened in 1905. Ready? Assumption of the crossing star. The solar system was originally the sun. Huge star approached to the sun. This star attracted to the sun to it slowly and slowly, which led to the great expansion in the part of the sun facing it. This expanded part was exploded. What happened? It led to gaseous time was formed a great lens from the sun. The sun escaped from the gravity of this star. The gaseous line started to condense and condense. This has happened due to the attraction force. Then it called forming the planets. This is the beginning for the forming a planet. My question, why the sun escaped from the gravity to crossing star? Directly we can say due to explosion of the expanded part of the sun. My dear, don't forget the Chamberlain and the multi-planet smell hypothesis was proposed in 1905 by geologist Thomas Chamberlain and astronomers the first molten to describe the formation of the solar system. Also, it's a very important theory to explain that. It was proposed as replacement for the Laplace variation, which you studied before. This has happened in 19th century. The theory was based on the idea that a star based close enough to the sun early in its life to cause tidal, also forming on its surface, which along with the internal process that leads to the solar prominences cause the material to eject repeated from the sun due to the gravitational effect of the passing star. My dear, two spiral-like arms would have extend and extend for the sun, and while most of the material would have the fallen back, part of the wood remain in orbit. This orbiting material would cool, condensed, and the numerous small bodies that they are termed planet small and a few large protoplanets. Their theory proposed that as these objects collide over time, the planet and their moons were built up with the comet and asteroid being the leftover described the spiral nebula, which was studied for the Laplace, photographed at a like observatory where the thought to possible be view of the other suns undergoing this process. Wonderful. These nebula are now known to be galaxies rather than developing solar system. Also, in 1917, James Hopwood James urged that only very closely approaching a second star was necessary to eject the material instead of the requiring solar system. My dear, this is not only there is a lemon should also tell me about the column material drawn out from the sun would be beside the rather than condensed. By this time, theory had mostly fallen out favor and in solar material had been pulled away. How that? Yes, it's pulled away from the sun with the forces necessary to account for the angular momentum, Jupiter. Yeah, the material would have controlled and continued out to the solar system and earlier. Through temporal and molten theory, no longer accepted the idea of the planet smell remains in modern theory. It's a wonderful theory, but also it tells us about the person in our solar system. We think, yeah, the solar system is the standard model for the formation, including the Earth by crossing a star. In this model, solar system formed for the large rotating cloud and instead of the dust and the gas called nebula. Also, it was composed of the hydrogen, helium, created shortly materials. This has happened after Big Bang. I think you remember Big Bang, which told us about the formation of the solar system. My dear, the nebula began contracting may have been about target of the shock wave a nearby supernova. A shock wave would have also made the nebula rotate. As the cloud began to accelerate. When it accelerated, the angular momentum, gravity, and inertia flattened into protoplanetary disk. This protoplanetary disk perpendicular to the axis of rotating. A small perturbations due to collision and the angular momentum of the other large disappears create the means by which a kilometer-sized protoplanetary began to form. Forming what do you think? Yes, orbiting the nebula of the center. Both of them, nebula and the crossing star, have some looking from each other. The center of the nebula, not having much angular momentum, collapsed rapidly, the compressions heating it until nuclear fusion of the hydrogen into helium began. After more contraction, T-theory star ignited and evolved into the sun. This means what? The outer part of the nebula gravity caused the matter to condense around density. My dear, the dust particle and the rest of the protoplanetary disk began separating into rings. And this process is known runaway accelerated, which you studied before. Successfully large fragments of the dust and the prized collapsed together and form a planet. Now the Earth starts to be formed. The particles fly, move, condensed and collected, not for the Earth only, no, to form a lot of stars, a lot of the planets. This is the beginning for the formation of our solar system. We arrived to the end. I hope you to understand the lesson. I hope to see you soon. Thank you and goodbye.